Hey, how's it going, Hunters fans? I have something really exciting for you while we're talking about the finale. I'm also going to have two of the actors calling in. I'm going to have Serhat Caradee, who you know as Musa, and Laura Gordon as Abby, and they're going to be calling in via Skype, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, how's it going? So this music right now, we have the all alone because I'm by myself for the finale. Katarina had a time commitment issue that she couldn't make it, and then Richie had to leave us earlier on. But I have two guests via Skype, so that's pretty darn awesome. So welcome, Serhat. Welcome.
Welcome, hi guys.
Yeah, so guys, you might know him as Musa from the show Hunters, and definitely had a major role towards the end of the show, and especially in the last one, the finale. So, oh my goodness, how does it feel now that it's done and essentially all done? Because, yeah, no renewal for 2, right?
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad. But you know what? It was an amazing experience. It was exciting. It was fun to be on. It was something new for us as well in Australia, so it was good to watch it. It was good to be on it. Great characters, great storytelling, and it was really saying a lot too about what was going on in the world at the time. So it was great to be part of it. I'm really excited.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then how did you hear about this project that you got involved in the first place?
There's a little story to that actually. I originally, would you believe, was cast for if you remember in episode 6, there was a prison warden called Prisoner Amari.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember I crushed his face in episode 6. I actually had his part, and then I went down for the table read, which I'm in Sydney, and the table read was in Melbourne. I went down for the reading for that, and I don't know what I did at that reading, but they offered me Musa.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a big shift.
Yeah, it was. Like I was only down there, I was supposed to be down there for 1 day for that reading, and I ended up staying there for 2-3 days, and by the end of that 2-3 day process, they offered me the part of Musa, which was really exciting. I couldn't believe it. Was like one for one, something so small. My life just changed around.
Yeah, and then you went from being a human to now being a hunter. What was it like being a hunter?
I had to get the clicks right, put it that way.
Yeah, that would be one I have to ask. How was that process? Like, I think that they make me uncomfortable to watch. You're just like, it's like when you have a bad shiver when you're really cold or something.
It comes out at heightened emotions. Like if you're really agitated, it'll come out. If you're feeling like you want to communicate something, trying to get your message across to somebody on a purpose. You can actually do it to one person. You can actually do a group of people. So if you notice in episode 6, I actually had a click that was going more towards like that. So it was more of a deeper one. So that was like a signal from the leader. It was a leader's messaging service, and then the rest of it was all just really clicks to each other. Because the alien inside us is the one that's communicating the clicks out, and that's how humans expressed it.
Oh, okay, that's a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
Did you guys have like click lessons?
Not really. No, I don't know how, because I think the click started before I came on. It was a form of communication that was already created. I think it was already created from the first few episodes. So it was in the screenplays as well. So really, they kind of left it up to us to give our own personal touch to it. But because I was a leader, I think mine was a little bit more deeper and bigger. But generally, my clicks were the same as everybody else. And the clicks that you hear on the show aren't the clicks that we were hearing on the set. The clicks we were hearing on the set was just like clicking our teeth, but they added the effect in later.
Ah, okay. Did that hurt your jaws at all after all the clicking?
No. Like again, if I go back to the one I used to, the deep big one, I did that. Yeah, that would after a while, but. No, it was pretty easy to do, actually. The general normal clicks were easy. And
then how was your experience doing some of the physical stuff? Because you had a bit of fighting, especially in this finale.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I've got a bit of martial arts background, so the physicalities and the punches and the kicks and so on would come pretty naturally. It was just really timing because Nathan, who was playing Briggs, had a gun in his hand. So tapping that out of the way and getting the speed of that, and also grabbing people and so on. So I think sometimes they would have ramped it up so it looks faster than what it was on the set as an effect. So, yeah, it was good fun. I mean, as long as we don't hurt each other. And a couple of times we had to crash match the fall onto, which was great. which you don't see. But yeah, it was all choreographed. We had fight coordinators, stunt coordinators on set, safety officers, for everything. So nothing was left to a chance. For anything to happen, they covered it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And then actually a different kind of physicality. You had to deal with your character being very ill towards the end. How was that experience?
Yeah, well, in the screenplay, I don't know why it's happening, and I eventually work out that Liana is starting to betray me. So she was the one that was really injecting me with something that was, instead of making me better, it was making me worse. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that my character picked up on it a bit too late. If you picked it up on it a bit early, could have saved himself. It would have been much more healthier.
Yeah. And also in the finale, on this after show, we talked a lot about how amazing the special effects have been on the show. And your demise at the end was pretty jaw-dropping, or head-splitting, rather.
Yeah, that was Justin Dix, the special effects crew. They were amazing. He took a mold of my head first, and then what he did was showed me a graphic of what it's going to look like. And it was actually what it turned out to be, like my head split, the brain hanging out. And then what happened was that process to put it all on me took about, I don't know, an hour and a half all up. So what is half of it's a prosthetic, and then they blend it in little bits and pieces. And then once it gets split, there was another dummy that actually gets split. So he shoots my head splits open, I fall on top of him, and then when he puts his hands in my, sorry to say, the skull and splits it, that was another dummy.
Oh, quite an elaborate process.
Yeah, it is.
I've
never done anything like that too, so it's a good experience to do that the first time.
Oh,
it's
cool.
Amazing.
Did it gross you out to watch yourself get injured that way?
No, because I saw most of it on set.
Okay.
But when they put it all together, when they edit it together, and then the cinematography and the style and the grading, it actually makes it look so much better than what it was on the set. And you got to give your hands to the filmmakers that put it all together for that. You just go, wow! From those little tiny little bits, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. And when it all comes together on set, and you see it, and then you see it on the episode. It's just like, wow, the way they put it together, it's incredible. Oh,
absolutely, yeah. And this show, I feel the effects were amazing, the look of it were amazing, actors were very talented, of course, too, and it had a neat feel to it. Yeah,
it did. On one level, it's your typical kind of like investigative slash X-Files FBI, and then the other side of it's got this kind of like sinister terror threat, which is the aliens hiding in our bodies. What are they up to? There was this bigger idea that's always been brewing through the first few episodes. The idea of this why are they here? What do they want? And eventually, in fact, if you think about the Musa character, he was a bit like a Jesus character in some ways, where all he wanted to do originally was just find all these people, convert them back to their natural form, and then get out of this country. Get out of the planet, sorry, as well.
Yeah. Well, in a way, it's both.
Yeah.
And then, were there any happy accidents on set? Anything that like went wrong but kind of worked out in the end?
That's a question you should ask Laura.
Okay. Yes, I saw a photo of that, and then we'll definitely have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Or
no,
any...
when I was on set, no. When I was chopping the tree, I remember when I was chopping the tree in episode 6 in the forest.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to actually chop a tree, so what they did was they drilled a piece of bark onto the tree, because those trees are a protected area. So when I was smashing the bark they put on the tree, that kept splitting in half. And I was supposed to do like 2-3 axes. I just said to him, I think the power of Musa, I can't control Musa and the alien inside me. It was too much power.
Okay, nice. Were there any funny memories from set? Anything in particular that stood out that was, good stories to tell each other later?
Let me think. Not the top of my head, no.
Was it a pretty serious set, or did you guys get to goof off a little bit?
The only funny thing I can remember is when I had to do a nude scene.
Right, yeah. That's when you first, when we're first introduced to your character, right? Pretty much?
Yeah, when I came out of that little pod.
Yeah.
I was completely stark naked. Now, of course, it's a closed set. It's a television. They can't show anything. I had to wear what they call a modesty pouch.
Yeah.
But still, you are a bit self-conscious. I've never done that before. So, it's a closed set, but still there are at least still 80 people on one side of the camera. So, and it was very cold. That forest was freezing. So I was naked, and they had blankets and socks and everything ready. Every time the call cut, people would just surround me with warm clothes and blankets. That was because there's another scene where I had to fall into the ditch in episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
I fall into the ditch. I bumped my head once. That's a bit of an accident, I suppose. Yeah.
Did you get any injuries on set?
No, I was actually okay. No, I did okay actually. No, nothing serious. No.
Oh, that's good.
No, it's good fun. It's really good fun.
And then how was it working with Leanna from Moose's perspective? Because you had your right-hand woman who not so good in the end.
Yeah, she betrayed us. Well, put it this way: her character's gender would have changed because she came out here, she was very seemingly loyal to me, and then she started realizing, hey, she can create a mutiny and create her own little army of followers, and eventually go away, maybe create their own kind of caliphate somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
So she had to break away from me and become a leader herself.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it was definitely interesting dynamics. Like all the times when each character kind of breaks off and has a scene with someone else, it was always entertaining because it was just really different how each character interacted with somebody else.
Yeah, if you look at the characters on a map, a web, the amount of characters and how each character affects one character and that character affects another one. That is just the brilliance of the creative writing process they do. When they map it out across 13 episodes, every single jigsaw puzzle is connected in some way, and in some way the audience starts getting behind the storytelling because as the characters start discovering stuff, the audience are discovering it with them, and the intrigue and the mystery hooks you into that process as well, which is kind of good.
Yeah.
And again, that's the quality of the writing. It was brilliant writing.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's very elaborate, and we do predictions at the ends of our shows, and it was always fun and challenging to be like, what do we think's going to happen next? Because this show is like, you don't even know. Each episode to episode was so different.
Yeah.
And very unpredictable.
And each episode, and also each episode, when they start, each episode had a nice little ending to it as well. So I think that's the television format where they actually keep you engaged, and then you want to find out what happens next.
Yeah.
And again, the quality of the writing, you've got to take your hats off to the writing. It's just great. And also it's based on a book too, so that kind of spine of the story of the aliens being here and hiding, and so that was Whitley Strieber's book as well. That helped a lot.
Did you read the book then?
Yeah, I did, yeah. It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Oh, cool. How
I was a fan of his work even before this book. I don't remember if you guys remember a film called Communion with Christopher Walken. It was made in the early 80s. It's called Communion, where an alien takes over humans' bodies.
Yeah.
He wrote that, and he also wrote, I think he wrote Cat People as well.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Do you feel your character is similar in the book, or was it not so similar in the show?
Similar, he was the leader of these aliens, and the idea of him saving himself, saving his people, converting him back to who they were, and taking him back to their planet. Yes, and the idea of where they came from, who he was, what happened on his ship, what happened on his planet. So what happened on the planet, on his ship, and how they end up on Earth. The book is very similar.
Okay, how much do you feel you relate to your character?
Good question, Kari. Good question. I think because I was born overseas. I was born in another country, and I came here when I was about 2.5 years old.
Okay.
So the idea of being an outsider, trying to fit in, and then sort of having this kind of group of people around you that you're comfortable with, I kind of relate to that in some way. And just naturally, I'm a very nurturing, giving person as well. So those elements, I remember when I was auditioning for it, they're the kind of qualities they wanted in this character. This kind of humanness, understanding and passionate, helping his people, nurturing, caring, and also a bit of a leader as well. So I'm a film director as well, so I'm also a bit of a team leader in that regard. So yeah, those qualities came into it, I'd say.
Yeah. And then your character in it is from Eastern Europe. And did you do...
Romania.
There we go.
Yeah. Romania.
What kind of practice or prep did you do to get the accent for that?
Good question, actually. In the flashbacks in the 80s, my character, his Romanian accent is very thick.
Yeah.
And then as we go through time, get to about probably the 89, when the last time you see me in flashbacks, then we jump 25 years and he's hiding in a Turkish prison. And the accent changed a little bit more because the character was so intuitive and so intelligent, he would adapt to whatever environment that he was in. And he'd pick up accents. So his original Romanian accent would be diminishing as he's moving through regions and locations. And by the time he ends up in America, his accent is an amalgamation of probably Romanian, a bit of Turkish and Arabic, and also a bit of American, a tiny touch of it. So, yes, in the flashbacks, heavy Romanian thick accent. By the time we get to the present, 2015, his accent was much more less.
Mm-hmm. Was that a challenge to keep that straight, or did you film chronologically so then it kind of just built upon itself?
We jumped. I think they shot the first 4 episodes one after another. Then we did 6. Then we jumped from 6 to, I think, 10, 11, 12. Because I think it was because Julian McMahon's availabilities were only here for like 2-3 weeks. So he was in the beginning, as you know. Then he came back kind of near the end as well. So we had to do his episodes first.
Yeah.
In shooting order, then go back and shoot the middle scenes as well in between.
Oh, wow.
Only because of his availability. That's what it was for.
Was that tricky to shoot out of order?
No, because once you read the scripts, and you know where your story arc, you have your character arc and you have the story arcs mapped out. As long as you know, and with the director will remind you whereabouts in the story we are again. So yes, this will happen before, or this will happen after. But in the story arc and the episode arc, you kind of work that out.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Normal because in film that's normal anyhow. They shoot out of order depending on locations and actors' availabilities.
Yeah.
So you as long as you read the script and you know where you are in the story, you should be able to fit yourself in.
Nice. Now, is there anything you're currently working on that you can tell viewers about?
Not as an actor, but as a filmmaker, I am. I've got 2 feature films in development in Australia. One in Los Angeles called Z Block, and that's about, would you believe, zombies in a prison.
Oh, cool. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. And then it's on the screen, but can you tell people your Twitter handle so they can find you online as well and reach out to you later?
Sure. It's Serhat Caradee, the way they spell it at Twitter.
All right. Cool.
Caradee.
Pardon? Oh, yeah.
So just my name on Twitter.
Okay, there we go. You want to spell it for our iTunes listeners?
Oh, S for Sam, ERHAT for Tom. Caradee is CARAD for Donald, double E.
All right,
cool. Serhat Caradee.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, because I myself, I'm like, oh, yeah, if people are just listening on iTunes, if you're like, how you spell your name? Because, I have that as well. I'm like, it's Kari with K. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to have you sign off so we can get Laura in before the end of the show. But again, thank you so much for calling in. And the only way to really reach out, right? Because you're over in Australia via Skype.
I would have loved to have came in. I would love to have.
Well, for your next show, or there you go, when your movie, when you're doing that, and if and when you're in LA, you should we'll do something for that. No problem. We're friends on Twitter anyhow, so we'll keep in touch. There we go. Sounds good. Thank you so much again. Thanks, Kari. Thank you. Thanks. And then, guys, right now we're going to switch over and we're going to get Laura. There we go. I'm letting her know via Twitter. Getting Laura Gordon in. I'm going to say it's Gordon. We'll check. We'll ask. Be like, names are just like, how do you say that? Get her ready on Skype as well. So yeah, this season finale, I know we're doing a bit more on the interviews, which personally I think this is great because, we're really getting the inside feedback on these characters and the process of this very interesting show. And yeah, like we said earlier, unfortunately they were not renewed for season 2. But I do think the season ended compactly enough that it's, there's definitely things that are unresolved, but it's almost like a movie that just kind of ends and maybe you don't get everything answered, but there's enough where it ends. And kind of like a horror movie, we have that kind of cliffhanger ending where we have Regan and her mom over in Russia and there's a bunch of extra hunters. So they're still around, the hunters are not gone. And there is a book that this is based on too, so you can definitely check that out as well if you're interested in this show. And we're still trying to pull her up on Skype. Yes, there we are. So let me know via Twitter what you thought of the show. What were some of the cliffhangers that you liked? I mean, at the end, we'll just kind of jump to the end of what happens. We got Abby and Flynn kind of going off into the nuclear sunrise. I think it's more sunrise because, they were there overnight. So the nuclear sunrise holding hands. I think they probably survive, maybe. Because they do mention that, they could survive, but the question is how far out do they get? And then we get Jackson and Briggs driving off to... I like that Jackson is like, Abby... Regan. He's like, Regan, you don't get any sort of special treatment man, where's Regan? Where's Regan? So shows his true colors, that he does care about her in the end. Because, yeah, his switch was a little weird. I think he just wanted to, like, you know, toughen up and not let anybody walk all over him anymore. And that's why he was like, you don't get any special treatment, Regan. No more for you. And then we have Briggs being an a-hole the entire time. And he's asking, but he asked at least about Flynn. He's like, where's Flynn? So at least he cared about somebody beside himself. And yeah, earlier Briggs has the, yeah, I'm just going to do my own orders to Jackson. So yeah, he was definitely telling him off. That's for sure. And what else? Do we need help finding the name on there, or did we have it? Oh, we might. I think we're having some trying to find the name. What else? Let's see. Oh, McCarthy, dude, his demise, man, that double, I think it was 2. It looked like Briggs had 2 like the sonic blasters. And I kind of saw it coming, but not for sure, because Briggs, I don't trust that guy at all. So I'm like, probably not going to happen. And then, you know, he just comes it to the back of the truck. And you're like, well, what's he going to do? I don't know. And then, lo and behold, he shoots him. So I was kind of surprised in poor McCarthy. But at least he went quick-ish. All right, we're dialing, I think, for now for Laura. And what else? And we got Jackson. And no shoot for... Oh, hey! Yay! All right, guys, this is it Laura Gordon or Gordon? Gordon in?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And you guys might recognize her as Abby, another hunter from the show. Oh, maybe we kind of lost you.
Have you gone away?
Oh, there it is. Yay.
I can't see you, but I guess you can see me.
Yeah, I'm in the studio, so we don't have a camera on me. Otherwise, you'd be looking at our engineers, so. But yeah, I realized I forgot to bring in your picture for the thing, but we'll have to post that on Twitter after. So you had a accident on set towards the end?
Finale. And it was so annoying because we got to do fight scenes and stuff, but I didn't do it doing anything cool. It was just, I don't know if you remember when Flynn's chasing me through the doors towards the spaceship right at the end.
Yes. Okay.
I just had a fight with the door. It's actually that take is in the show. Yeah, but I like broke my finger into the hand. You can kind of see the scar. I don't know. Anyway, I had to have surgery and get bolts put in there and stuff.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And, we'll post that on Twitter, guys, so make sure to check our Twitter feed for that.
Yeah. So I had to film the last week all the stuff in the hangar where the hunters are in the compound with this, you know, big cast, and we had to kind of just mask it the whole time. And then I think they even had to paint a little bit out.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was like, and the fight with Liana in the boiler room type thing, that was going to be like really extensive, but I had to be one-armed fighter. Yeah.
Oh wow! So you had to do that whole fight scene in like the bottom of the ship with just one arm?
Yeah. So we had a double kind of swapping in and out with me, and yeah, they just choreographed it all so that it was only ever using a right.
Oh wow! Well, it still looked really good.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool in the end. Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, Hunters wasn't renewed for season 2. But what is it like going through all of this and then finding that out? Because it was a pretty darn cool show that had a lot of neat stuff to it. But then you get that news. How is that?
Yeah, it's really sad because it was such a great group of people. Such an exciting project to be part of, and I loved Abby. I just thought she was the coolest character. So, yeah, it's really sad, but it's kind of, I guess, the nature of the industry, and you have to just go, okay, well, that was an awesome experience, and we've got a cool season out of it, and we just have to go, what's next?
Yeah.
But I would love to keep going and see what happened in season 2.
TV show spinoff, or another like Australian show spinoff.
After the Purge.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, where did they film all of this? Because a lot of you are from Australia.
Yeah, they filmed it in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They filmed that. Actually, the studio was made out of this converted factory in a place called Broadmeadows, which is out of the city, kind of near the airport. And so when all the American producers kind of rocked up, they were like, where are we? This isn't like the middle of Melbourne. It's kind of on the outskirts. And so they all affectionately named it Broadywood.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of people saying Melbourne?
Yeah.
You're like, no.
Say Melbourne. But there was, and apparently Melbourne's really great for within a kind of hour drive. You can have all sorts of different look-alike places.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you can have the desert, you can have the jungle, you can have city streets, and because they jumped around to so many different places like Colombia and Mexico, and that was all just like within a 45-minute to an hour drive, which was good.
Yeah. Now, since you're based in Australia, was that kind of like nice to be in your home base area, or were you like, I would have wanted to go abroad? Yeah, because so often you end up having, working on location away from home. So it was a real treat to, spend 6 months in Melbourne, close to family and friends, and working on a cool US series. It was awesome. Yeah. Have you had many US Twitter fans or people reach out to you after? Because now it's like, you've been exposed to another demographic of people. Yeah.
Well, I'm totally new to Twitter, and I don't even know if I'm doing it right. So I'm kind of like a little baby on that. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'll have to, see what happens.
Well, you're on there. That's step number one. At least you got that.
I was not on there for a very long time.
Was it hard to keep any of the show info under wraps while you're filming? I mean, even if you weren't on Twitter, were you able to tell your friends and family about it, or how secretive were they?
Yeah, it was pretty secretive. But I feel like that's sort of the case with nearly everything that you do these days. So there's kind of a broad brushstroke that you can give people. But it's always like, and then, or don't tell them, no, I can't say it. Yeah.
Because your character had so many spoiler moments of crazy reveals.
I know. What a crazy ride she went on. I mean, when I think back to episode 1, like this sort of sweet piano teacher living in, Baltimore, and where she ends up. But I didn't know. I always knew that I was a hunter. I knew that I had this kind of crazy arc, but I think I only read the first 4 episodes to begin with, which I'm pretty much, disappeared, and I end up in, you find me in that freezer right at the end of ep 4, I think. Yeah. So I didn't know what was happening, and so along the way, I had to keep kind of checking in with Natalie, the showrunner, kind of with like, do I have good intentions here? Like, am I good or bad? Because I know you want the audience to kind of question my loyalties and think maybe I'm up to no good. But I'm like, I think that I believe in Abby. I think she's cool, right? So it wasn't until right at the end when I remember at a certain point when we had about 4 episodes to shoot, I sat down with Natalie and she said that Abby's actually the most innocent character of everyone, because she doesn't know that. She knows about the purge, but she just believes that that's, her kind getting back home, and she believes in that. It's just she happened to fall in love with Flynn, and that's kind of put a big spanner in the works for her. But she has no idea of the nuclear fallout. Yeah. So yeah, she genuinely is. She's kind of like a freedom fighter. But it was interesting tracking that along the way, going, what am I doing? Yeah. And I really always believed that Abby was had her heart in the right place. But sometimes you can think that it's a character and an actor, but it's not actually the case. But it turns out Abby was pretty cool.
Yeah, and no villain ever thinks they're the bad guy, so.
Exactly, and you shouldn't either, because you have to kind of believe in what you're about.
Now, you mentioned you really liked your character. Do you feel you have any similarities to Abby?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I do, to the extent that I play, you use yourself as much as yourself as you can, and you play things, well, I tend to play things through myself. So we've got a lot of the same kind of personality, and But I mean, she lives in such an extreme world, and sort of her set of circumstances are so different. I had to really use my imagination to kind of, you know, imagine what it would be like to be a completely different species, an alien, and then what that is to become a human and to initially not like being human and feeling trapped by it, but then sort of growing to love it because of the emotions she feels for other humans. So all of that was kind of outside of my point of experience, and there wasn't a similarity that I could draw on. So I really had fun kind of creating that that history.
Yeah. Now, we did have a question while we were watching the show that Abby starts off with the hearing aid, and then it kind of goes away, but then it's kind of there, so...
Yeah, so the hearing aid is for, she has really sensitive hearing because it's sonic, and it's actually to protect her from the sonic, from generally sound like the piano would really irritate her ears, so she would wear it for that, but it protects her from sonic blasts. So that's why when McCarthy attacks her in episode 1, he takes them out.
Yeah.
And that's why she's so susceptible to it. And then when she's in episode 5, when Flynn gets it, he shoots a gun near her ear. She doesn't have them in. Yeah. She's not expecting any shenanigans. And so that does crazy things to her hearing, and it's really, really painful. But then in episode 8, when they go to Martinez's boat shed, she puts them in because she knows that that explosion might happen or something might happen. So she actually is wearing them, which is why she's not affected by that sonic blast.
Okay, well, that makes more sense. Yeah.
I know, it's kind of confusing.
Because at first we were wondering, like, what was the purpose? But, yeah, we kind of thought that maybe it helped with the hearing because, hunters have such sensitive hearing.
So it's not to help with the hearing, it's actually to dampen the experience. Yeah, but it's also was a good cover. When she was Abby. Yeah. Not Hunter, Abby.
Abby version 1.0.
Yeah, because there's a few versions. There's like Spy Abby, Femme Fatale Abby, Hunter Abby, Sweet Nice Abby.
Freedom Fighter Abby.
Freedom Fighter Abby, yeah.
Now, are there any current projects you're working on that you can tell our viewers and listeners about?
I just finished shooting a miniseries up in Queensland about, I don't know if you guys know Paul Hogan. He's a really iconic, famous real person in Australia. He did the Crocodile Dundee movies. It's Crocodile Dundee. Anyway, they're doing a biopic miniseries on his life, and I'm playing his second wife.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been great. We've been recreating the films, and it's been really exciting and fun.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
And where can people find you on Twitter for our listeners, if you want to spell it out as well, please?
Yeah, so on Twitter, I'm at Ms. Laura Claire, MSLauraClaire.
Right.
And Instagram, which I'm also very new to, somebody already had that, so I made it at Ms._Laura Claire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's nearly the same.
Oh, I know. Isn't that frustrating? Someone else has the name. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I couldn't get any Laura Gordons. Oh. Now you've taken the Claires as well.
Any other final words on Hunters and your experience on it? We have to wrap up here.
Yeah, sure. No, it was an awesome cast. I loved working with everyone, working with Gale Anne Hurd and Natalie Chaidez. They're such great, strong, clever women. So it was really fun. And I loved going on the journey with Abby.
Cool. Well, thank you so much again. And it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I realized I waved at the screen, guys, and she can't see me, but instinctive. Anyway, that wraps up the Hunters after show. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Box Office Breakdown on Monday nights. Tuesday, later on this evening, it's Dead of Summer, a really good horror show. And then Wednesday nights for Vikings. Again, thank you so much for watching the after show for Hunters. Make sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and 5 stars on iTunes. We appreciate all the support, and thanks for reaching out on Twitter and your comments. We love hearing what you think about the show, and if you want to continue the discussion, you can find me online. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And make sure to follow AfterBuzz on all social media platforms because we cover a lot of really cool shows all over the place. So make sure to follow us there, and we'll see you later. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.